Chaitanya Charitamrita Lecture Evening, 12th January 71.
Mahabhagam Mahobhagam Nandagopa Bajukasam Janmitrang Paramanandam Purna Brahma Sanatam. I think I shall speak in Hindi. What is it? I can speak in English. Then they will take advantage. That is. Well, you have gone? Huh? All. So this was a part of the prayer offered by Brahmaji when he offended on the lotus feet of Krishna. The incident, perhaps you know, that Krishna was a cowherd boy in Vrindavan. अब जा रहे हैं क्या? हाँ? तो हिंदी में बोलेंगे। वही मुश्किल है ना, ये लोग है इंग्लिश। अच्छा बैठिए। ये लोग इसलिए इंग्लिश बोलने पड़ता है। और तो हिंदी वाले सब चले जाते हैं, तो हिंदी में ही बोला जाएगा। आइए महाराज, आए हिंदी बोलें। कॉल हिम दैट, महाराज इधर आइए, अब बैठिए, आप हिंदी में बोलें। नहीं नहीं समझ में नहीं आएगा। हाँ? और सब इंग्लिश में समझ जाएंगे आप लोग। Why you are backside? You can tell me. So Brahmaji is praising the fortune of the residents of Vrindavan, Brajokosam. Headed by Brajokosam means the residents of the Brajabhumi, headed by Nanda Maharaj. O Bhagam Maho Bhagam Nando Gopo Brajokosam Jan Mitrang Paramanandam Brahma. Krishna was there. So Brahma is admitting that this Krishna is Parabrahma Sanatana. So you have to take evidence from the authorities. There are 12 authorities according to Shastra. Brahma is one of the authorities. 12 authorities means Swayambhu, Narada, Shambhu, Kapila, Kumara, Manu, Prahlada, Janaka, Bhishma, Vaiyasaki, Vayam. Swayambhu, Narad, Swayambhu is Brahma, Narad, then Shambhu, Lord Shiva, Swayambhu, Narada, Shambhu, Kapila, Kapil. Kapil is incarnation of God, Kapil Dev, the propounder of the Sankhya philosophy. Kumara, the 4 Kumaras, ever Brahmachari, and Manu, Vaivasvata Manu, the father of Maharaj Ikhaku, and Prahlad, the son of Hiranyakashipu, the father was a thief, and the son was a devotee, great devotee of Lord Krishna. Then Janak Maharaj, the father of Sita Devi, and Bhishma, the grandfather of the Pandavas, Prahlada, Janaka, Bhishma, then Vaiyasaki, Sukdev Goswami and Jamraj, they are authorities. Now, here the Brahma, the first authority, he is admitting Krishna as Brahma, Purna Brahma Sanatana. Purna Brahma, Bhagavan. Brahma realization, there are stages, 3 stages of Brahma realization. First impersonal Brahma, then localized Brahma, then full Brahma. Localized Brahma is Paramatma, which situated in everyone's heart. The example is given just like the sun. The sun is one, and the sun is the abode of the sun god, Vaivasat. In the Bhagavad Gita, you have to admit, Imam Vivasati Yugam, Prathavan Aham Abba, Vivassan Mano Prahu Manu Ikhaga Vibhya. So this Vivassan is sun god. He heard from Krishna for the first time about the yoga system stated in the Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, Krishna spoke and the sun god heard. Therefore, he is a person. And the sun god's abode is the sun planet. And from the sun planet, the effulgence, the sunshine is coming. By this example, one can understand what is Brahma, Paramatma and Bhagavan. Tattva-vastu, the absolute truth that is stated in the Srimad Bhagavad. The absolute truth, not like that. Don't sit like that. I didn't tell you. The absolute truth is realized in 3 phases. The first realization is impersonal Brahma. The next higher realization is the Paramatma, Antarjana. And the ultimate realization is the Supreme Personality of God. Vadanti tattavida satyam jadjnanam adhyam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaneti sarve. This is absolute truth in 3 phases. So here, the absolute truth, when he is realized as the Supreme Person, as Brahma is realized, Janam is strong. he is realizing that Krishna, who is playing as a cowherd boy in Vrindavan, and he has become the most intimate friend of the residents of Vrindavan, headed by Nanda Maharaj. Nanda Maharaj was the Jamindar Raja. He was Vaishya. He had 900,000 of cows, and he was the head of Vrindavan. All other cowherdsmen were his tenants, or friends or family members. So Krishna automatically becomes their very, very dear friend. That is the significance of the residents of Vrindavan. Their love for Krishna was so ecstatic that they did not know anything except Krishna. Therefore Brahma said, Oho Bhaggam Mahava. How fortunate these residents of Vrindavan are, that Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, has become their friend. And Krishna is Purna Brahma Sanatana. Not that he has assumed a body like a human being and is impersonal. No. That's like Mayavadi philosophers. They take it, they concoct like that ultimately the absolute truth is impersonal. But when he descends, I do not know how the impersonal can be he. So that theory is refuted hereby, because it is the statement of Brahma, and he says that Krishna is Purna Brahma Sanatana. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Apani pada stuti vajre prakita pani charan puna kahe siddha chale kare sarva graha. This is the process of describing a spiritual understanding with reference to the Vedic injunction. Now, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving Vedic reference. He says, Apanipada, this is a reference from the Svetasatara Upanishad. In the Svetasatara Upanishad, there is statement, impersonally, but referring to the person, transcendental person. The mantra is like this, Apanipada Javana Grita Pastat Tataksu Sasyanak Sakarnaha Saveti Vedang Nasata Shasti Veta Tamahu Radrang Purusang Mahatma. Purusam means person, but the Vedic mantra begins Apanipada, person but has no legs and no hands. There are two kinds of statements, that he is person, Purusa. Mahanta, the greatest person, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is a person, but Apanipada, but he has no legs and no hands. So how is that? A person has no legs and no hands, and still he accepts whatever he offers, just like Krishna says, Tadham Asnami Bhaktya Upuritam Asnami. Anyone who offers me anything, Patram Puspam Phalam Tuyam, with devotion, Bhaktya, the very word is bhakta. That means Krishna is transcendental person. And the Vedic mantra confirms. When the Vedic mantra says, apani pada, no hands, no legs, that is not impersonal. Person, but his hands and legs are not like us. That is Apanipada. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains that. Apanipada Suti Bodje Prakito Pani Charan. When the Vedic mantra says that the absolute truth has no legs and no hands, that means that the personality of God has hands and legs and not material. That is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains. Apanipada Shruti, Ved mantra. Bodje Prakito Pani Charan. Puna kahe sidra chale kare sadbhagram. And although the Vedic mantra says that the absolute truth has no leg, no hands, still it confirms that he can accept whatever you offer, and he can walk more speedily than anyone. When he walks, at the same time he has no legs, and he accepts your offering, he has no hands. What does it mean? Apparently, it is contradictory. If he has no legs, then how he can walk more speedily than anyone? These are Vedic mantras. No, nobody can capture him. He is walking so speedily. But if he has no legs, how he is walking? That Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained that Bodje Prakita Panika. This means that the Supreme Personality of Godhead has no material body. In the Kurma Purana, it is said that the Supreme Personality, the Parabrahma, has no distinction between his body and self. There is no absolute, means there is no duality. As we have got duality, I am the soul and this body. They are different. Therefore Shastra says, Jasatu buddhi kunapeti dhatuke. If anyone accepts his body as self, this body is made of three dhatus, kapha, pitta, vayu. I am not this. And Bhagavad Gita also says, Dehinasmin yatha dehi kaumara jauvanam jara tatha dehantram prati. So dehi means possessor of this body, the owner of this body. The owner of this body is different from this body. But in case of Krishna or Vishnu Tattva, there is no such difference. The self and the body, no difference. That is confirmed in the Kurma Purana. Unfortunately, the Mayavadis, either due to their poor fund of knowledge of the Shastras, or by their whims, they say that Krishna or Vishnu, when comes, or the Absolute Truth when he descends, he assumes, he accepts the material body. But that is not the fact. Krishna says, Sambhavami Atmamaya. It is not that Krishna accepts a material body. No. Krishna has no such distinction, material. Therefore Krishna says, Avajananti mana mudha manasim tanvad. Because I present myself, discern myself as a human being, the mudhas or the rascals, they think of me or deride at me. The Mayavadis, they will never worship the transcendental form of the Lord. They will not worship. They will worship the impersonal. And Krishna said, Kleshaudhikataraste sam abhakya saktati sam. Of course, impersonal, personal is the same, absolute truth. But if you try to reach the absolute truth through the impersonal attachment, then it will be more troublesome. The Jnainis, those who want to understand the absolute truth by their material, imperfect knowledge, how one? Atas Sri Krishna namadi nabhavid gayam indriyai. Our manipulation of the senses. It's not possible to understand what is Krishna. The Vedic mantra also to say, Nayamatma prapachanena labhya. You cannot realize the Atma. You cannot be self-realized simply by talking. He may be very big speaker, nice speaker, but that is not the process. Simply by speaking very nicely, you can understand the absolute truth. Nayamatma prapachanena labhya na medhaya. Neither you can understand the absolute truth because you have got a very nice brain, a great scientist. Then Sir Isaac Newton would have discovered what is God, or Professor Einstein, or Sir Jagadish Chandra Bose. They could have understand. No, they cannot. Because they have very nice finer tissues of the brain. It does not mean. It is a different process. It is to understand God or Krishna, it is not material process. Therefore Krishna said, Bhaktya mam abhijanati javan jasyami tattata. Only through devotional service he can be known. Nahang prakasa sarvasya yogamaya samabritaha. Krishna is covered by the curtain drawn by yogamaya. Therefore, Krishna cannot be understood by everyone. Neither his teachings, Bhagavad Gita, can be understood without becoming a devotee of Krishna. This is not possible. Therefore, Krishna says to Arjuna that bhaktosi priyosimi, because you are my very dear friend. Therefore, I shall speak to you. Rahasam etad uttamam. Without you, nobody can understand. Krishna was a military man. He was not a Brahmin, neither a Vedantist. You cannot expect a military man, a Kshatriya, to be highly learned in Vedic scriptures. That is not possible. They hear from the Brahmins. The Brahmins, they are expected to be highly learned scholars in Vedas because that is their department. Jnanam vijnanam astikam brahma karma svabhava. Brahma jnanati iti Brahman. Brahman, therefore we call Brahman Pandit. Panditji. Panditji has never seen the pages of Vedas, but it still is going on under the name of Pandit. So, that kind of Pandit is not wanted. Actually, a Brahmin means he is truthful. And one of the greatest commentators of Bhagavad Gita, Baladev Vidyavasa, he says truthful means one should be truthful even to his enemies. Sometimes we have to hide something from the enemies, that is diplomacy. But Baladev Vidyavasa says a Brahmin should be so truthful that he will disclose everything to his enemy also. satyam, titiksha, ajavam, shuchi, sama, dama. These are the qualifications. Jnanam, vijnanam, astikam, brahma karma svara. So, without this Brahminical qualification, one cannot understand the Vedic knowledge. Therefore it is stated sometimes that a Shudra is prohibited from reading Vedas. That does not mean that reading of Vedic culture or Vedic knowledge is monopolized by a certain class of men. Not that. The idea is, just like in our ordinary educational system, there is some prohibition. So unless one is graduate, he cannot be admitted in the law college. That is not a prohibition. That is the necessary qualification to understand. Similarly, to understand the Vedas, the necessary qualification is that one must be a qualified Brahmin. Not that Mr. Max Muller, he has got little knowledge of Sanskrit and he translates. That kind of translation is no use. Just like so many commentaries on the Bhagavad Gita, without becoming a devotee of Krishna, is useless. It has no meaning. Because Krishna says that Bhaktyamam Abhijana. Only through devotional service one can understand it. And how a non-devotee can understand it? He has no scope to enter into the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. The first qualification is that he must be a pure devotee of Krishna. Then it will be revealed. In the Srimad Bhagavad there is a verse, Athapi te deva padambujadayam prasada lesanu grihita eva hi janati tattam nachanna ekopi chirang vichim. My dear Lord, one who has a little, and it is a favorable connection with your lotus feet, he can understand. Athapi te deva padambujadayam prasada. One who has got a little prasada from your lotus feet. Such person can understand you. Prasada lesana janati tattam. He can understand what you are. Krishna says that manusyanam sahasreshu kaschid jatati siddhai jatatamapi siddhanam kaschid vettimam tat. To understand Krishna is not very easy job. Krishna says, out of many millions of men, one is trying to become perfect in this human form of life. Not everyone is trying. First of all, one has to become Brahmin or acquire the Brahminical qualification. That is the platform of Satagun. Unless one comes to the platform of Satagun, there is no question of perfection. Nobody can understand, nobody can achieve perfection on the platform of Rajagun and Tamagun. Because one who is addicted to Rajagun and Tamagun, he is always very greedy and lusty. Tato rajastamo bhava kamo lobha dayastri. One who is infected with the material qualities of ignorance and passion, he is lusty and greedy. That's all. Therefore you will see, generally people are very much lusty and greedy. They are accumulating money, crores and crores, still they are not satisfied. In Western countries you see very easy. There are many workers working very hard from very poor states, just like Henry Ford, Mr. Rockefeller. They started begging life from a very humble state, but they accumulated immense wealth, and still they were not successful. In our country also there are many villas and such, accumulating money. They're greedy because infected with the quality, modes of nature, ignorance and passion. Vaishya means passion and ignorance. Kshatriya means passion, and Brahmin means goodness. These are the different qualities. So one has to come to the platform of goodness. Then he has to transcend the platform of goodness, come to the pure transcendental platform. Vasudev. Sattam Vishuddham. Satagon. In this material world, Satagon is also sometimes mixed with Rajagun and Tamam. That is the nature. So one has to transcend the platform of Satagon. Suddha Sattva. Sattam Vishuddham Vasudeva Sabditam. That is the Vasudeva platform when Krishna appears. So Manusyanam Sahasresu. So generally people are addicted, infected with the qualities of ignorance and passion. How he can understand Krishna? It is not possible. So one has to engage himself this devotional service. Then you can, you may argue that how these Europeans and Americans, they are supposed to be in ignorance and passion. How they are coming to the platform of transcendental platform of pure goodness. That is possible. That is possible by the execution of Bhagavad Dharma. Nityang Bhagavata Sevaya. Tato Rajastamo Bhava. There are verses in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Sinnatang Sakata Krishna Punna Savana Kirtan. One has to hear. Therefore, Savana and Kirtan, hearing and chanting is very important. Sunnatang Sakata Krishna, especially hearing and chanting of Krishna. Kirtana Deva Krishnasa, Mukta Sangha Parangvita. Simply by discussing and hearing and reciting Bhagavad Gita purely, not by interpreting wrongly, as it is. As Krishna says, Manvana Bhava Mad Bhakta Mad Jajima. You have to accept that. You cannot change that. You cannot say it is not to Krishna, it is to Krishna's self and this and that. So Sinnatang Sakata Krishna, one who hears Bhagavad Gita, as it is, or Srimad Bhagavatam, from devotees, Sinnatang Sakata Krishna Punna Samana Kirtana. Because simply by hearing, he achieves the result of pious activity. And Krishna says also in the Bhagavad Gita that one can be engaged in my service, in devotional service, who is freed from all contamination of sinful life. Jesam antagatam papam jananam punya karmanam Te dandamaha nirmukta bhajante mam dirabhrita. Unless one is freed from all contaminants of sinful life, one cannot concentrate in the devotional service of Krishna. Krishna says. So, the process is, as it is recommended in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Sinnatang Sathata. Simply you sit down and hear what Krishna says. Don't comment wrongly, whimsically. Don't gratify your senses. Submissive. Namrata. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also recommends from Bhagavad. Jnane priyasam mudapasa namantayim. Just be submissive. Bhavadiya varta. And try to hear of Krishna. Submissive. Then you will benefit. If you make your own commentation, then you will be wrongly directed. You have to, that's what Krishna says, Evam parampara praptam emang rajasaya vidus. Sakalena yoganasta parantam. Because the parampara system was lost, therefore Krishna says that the system recommended in the Bhagavad is lost now. Therefore I am speaking again to you, the same yoga system. So one has to receive the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita by the parampara system. Just like Arjuna. Arjuna heard Bhagavad Gita. And how he understood Bhagavad Gita? He understood Krishna as a person. Param Brahma Param Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusam Shashvatam Adyam. Very real Bhagavad Gita understanding. And Arjuna said, Sarvametam Ritang Manya. Jadvadasi Kesam. Now Krishna says, the Sarvadharman Parittajya Mamekam Saranam Braja. He accepted that. That is Bhagavad Gita. Not that it is not to pursue Krishna, it is to his wealth and this and that. No. Therefore we are presenting Bhagavad Gita as a peace. So, it is very unfortunate that the Supreme Personality of Godhead accepted by all the acharyas, not only at the present age, previously also, Vyasdev, Narad, Vasita, Devala, there are great acharyas, and in the recent years, Shankaracharya, he also admitted, Ramanujasa, Madhyacharya, Vishnu Swami, Lord Chaitanya, all these authorities they are accepting Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then how is that? The less intelligent class of men, they are commenting differently. That's not good. They may comment, they go on talking on nonsense, but no sane man will accept them. There is a difference. But those who are sane, they should judge over this. Why we should deny that God is impersonal? God is personal. Krishna came. Krishna exhibited his godly potencies, energies when he was present. There is no, in the history you won't find another second person like Krishna in the whole history of the world. Apart from other points of view, Bhagavad Gita, that is admitted. It's spoken by Krishna. Such deep, profound knowledge There is no second imitation or second copy like Bhagavad Gita in the whole world. That is admitted by all scholars, all religions. Therefore he is Purna Jnana, Purna Brahma. Bhagavad Gita is Purna Jnana. The Bhagavan, one qualification, he is fully wise. Nobody is wiser than him. That is one of the qualifications. Nobody is richer than him. Nobody is powerful than him. Nobody is influential than him. Nobody is beautiful than him. And nobody is renounced than him. Sarai Sajja. That will be explained. So, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, admitted by all acharyas, and on the basis of that authority, we are preaching all over the world that you are searching after God, here is God. Krishnastu Bhagavan Sam. Krishnastu Bhagavan Sam. In the Bhagavad has given different list of different incarnation of God, but ultimately concludes that iti chang sakala pungsa krishnastu bhagavan swayam. All the incarnations, they are parts or parts of the part. Angsa means part and kala means part of the part. But some Purna Bhagavan, Surya Kala Purna, Sarai Sajja Purna Bhagavan is Krishna. That is the verdict, all Vedas, all Shastras. So we should also accept in that light. Krishnastu Bhagavan Sam, Ishara Parama Krishna. And Krishna also says personally, Aham Sarvasya Prabhava. I am the origin of even Brahma, Shiva and Vishnu also. Aham Sarvasya Prabhava. Matta Sarvam Pravartat. So, from any, now here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that Krishna is person, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is person, but he is not a person like us. That is different. But less intelligent person, they think Krishna, as soon as he is a person like us. But that isn't. He is not a person like any one of us. Therefore, he is confirmed by the Vedas. Apanipada Javanagrahita. This absolute truth has no leg or hand. Still, he can walk very swiftly and he can accept anything you offer. That means his hands and legs are not like ours. That is something. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is trying to explain before Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya that the absolute truth is a person like you and me. Chetana, Nitya, Nityanam, Chetana, Chetananam. He is the supreme person, the chief person. We are all also individuals. Krishna is also individual. But he is the chief and we are subordinate. That is it. Thank you. God is not poor man. But you are mismanaging. जरूर नहीं, उसको तो प्रमाण है कि बच्चा पैदा होने का पहले ही वो माता जी का स्तन में दूध है। एक दिन पहले दूध नहीं होता, जब बच्चा पैदा हो उसी वक्त दूध इमीडिएट। बोले विश्वास नहीं है मूर्ख है, विश्वास नहीं है ना मूर्ख है। एक बहुनाम विदुदाति काम भीतर एक जो भगवान है नित्य नित्यानाम चेतन शीतनाम, एक नित्य वस्तु है, चेतन वस्तु है भगवान, कोई एक बहुनाम विदुदाति काम, सबके पालन करते हैं। इसलिए नाम भगवान का है विश्वंभर, सब ईश्वर को खिलाते हैं। सब पक्षी 84 लाख जोनी में मनुष्य जाति बहुत ही कम है, 4 लाख, और सबके लिए भगवान खाने को देता है, हाथी को देता है, चींटी को देता है, खाली मनुष्य को नहीं देता। सब जुआ चीज है, इसलिए पाप है। तो भगवान को वस्तु उसको भगवान को नहीं समझते है, हमारा समझते हैं। अहं ममेति जनस्य मोहयम, हमारा देश है, हमारा संपत्ति है, हमारी है, हमारी है, हमारी करके काम जानना। इसलिए कृष्ण कॉन्शियसनेस चाहिए, हमारी नहीं है कृष्ण का, बस एवरीथिंग। तो इसलिए कृष्ण कॉन्शियसनेस मूवमेंट का बहुत ही आवश्यकता है। आप लोग था इसमें साथ सहयोग दीजिए, इसको खूब प्रचार कीजिए। भोक्ता जगदवसाम, एकमात्र भोक्ता और मालिक है कृष्ण। Very right way. Where? On the street? So, what happened? Yes. Repeat it. Oh, that's nice.